Let's unbox the Funko Pop vinyl figure of Vel Sartha from Andor Season 1. Varykino. If it's Star Wars, we collect it. Hello there, thanks for visiting Varykino. We recently did a rewatch of the fantastic Andor Series 1, and I have to say, even all these years later, there still isn't that much tie-in merchandise for the Andor series. I really like collecting my favorite characters from my favorite series in the Funko Pop vinyl line, as well as Hasbro lines, the Black Series 6-inch and Vintage Collection 3.75, and when it comes to Andor, there just isn't as much as I wish. Now this Funko of Vel Sartha from the series, as you can see, was a winter convention exclusive. It was very hard to find here in New Zealand. I actually had to track this one down overseas, and you know, I think I want to get her out of the packaging and on display because I was kind of waiting until there were more Andor pop vinyl figures to put her alongside, but all this time later, all the way past 2022, and we still don't have very many, so I think I'm done waiting. I want to get her out of the box. So thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Coming up really soon, I'll get Val out of the packaging so we can check out all of the details, but first let's take one last look at the box. Of course, we have a pretty standardized packaging for a Funko Pop vinyl single figure here. For the sidebar and top banner, it's just plain black there. We've got the Star Wars logo in white, and for the number we have a red circle. You can see the number is 554. Got a little bit of a preview there of that classic Funko art there of Val on the side, and of course we have a sticker here on the front window. Funko 2022 Winter Convention Limited Edition. Now I live internationally here in New Zealand. We don't get those convention specific stickers, but we do get these sort of generic ones. So this just says Winter Convention rather than the American convention where this would have been available. So it is a little bit different to the American versions, but I'll gladly take a slightly different sticker if I can actually get my hands on this without having to fly to the United States. Of course, that lovely big window on the front wraps around to the side here. We've got the character name Vel Sartha and a little bit of a preview there of her face right down the bottom. We've also got the number, and of course we have this kind of, I say it's a little bit plain here on the back. We have the Star Wars logo, a small Andor text logo, and then a large Andor styled rebellion symbol here. Of course, the convention exclusives do tend to be sort of one shots, so we don't have others in the wave here. We don't have any of the other Andor Funko Pop vinyls pictured here. We do have the sort of slightly cut off picture here where we can see her head to toe, and of course we also have a full view here of the character, full length there at the side. Again, just plain black here with a little bit of red there. We've got a gray number plate here, 554, and just that pop vinyl logo there at the top. And again, a little bit of a preview there. Now, because she doesn't have a particularly distinctive costume, it's more sort of, you know, combat outfit with her vest and pants and boots. When we isolate it down to just her face, it doesn't look recognizably Star Wars. I'm always kind of wishing it would help me as a collector to have the logos of like the movies or something like that on the top flap when I'm looking through all of my boxes trying to find the ones. Sometimes I sort of misplace them because I don't immediately recognize just the little previews there, but nevertheless she looks pretty cool. I'm glad to see just at least one other Andor character in the pop vinyl line. I am still hoping for a lot more though, like Mon Mothma, Dedra Meero, plenty others, Kino Loy. There's so many cool characters. Maybe Funko are waiting for Andor Season 2, but personally I can't wait. They should have made tons by now. But anyway, let's get this one open and check out her details. As usual, I'm going to open this one up from the underside. My box does have a tiny ding here in the back, but I didn't have much choice. This one was hard to find here in New Zealand. Let's get this bottom flap open and we'll get her out. I love all the characters in Andor. I'm really excited to see where the storylines of the characters will go in Season 2, and I'm hoping to just get more merchandise in general. Andor is such a fantastic show. Okay, let's get her out. Okay, she looks cool. Okay, neat. I know you can see them through that plastic window, but they're just a little bit hidden. I think they look really cool once you get them out of the plastic and you can go over all of the details. So let's clear this packaging away and we'll go over the paint job and the details. I like seeing the details of the Funko Pop vinyl figures up close. I think there is a lot that's sort of lost when in the boxes, and I'm always impressed about the costume detail that Funko manages to include in their single pop vinyl figures. There's always a lot more going on. and I'm always impressed with the accuracy. They could really go the sort of cheaper and easier route by sort of simplifying things because of the heavy stylized nature of Funko Pop vinyls, but they still managed to fit a lot there. And now that I can see here out of the plastic, I can check out all of the costume details here. She is a little bit dark, but we've got this fantastic brown jacket in here with all of these really cool details. We've got some painted bands on her sleeves. She's wearing black fingerless gloves there. You can see that right there on the front. And then of course we've got these sort of like a muted green color there for her pants, again with some really cool sculpted details. We've got little pockets, we've got seams down the front, and then we've got these sort of almost a caramel brown boots with lots of buckle details going on there. Really nice. Of course, she is affixed to the iconic black base that Funko uses across their Star Wars line, though I have to say the printing on the Star Wars logo on this one just feels a little bit higher than true center. It's not wonky, so it doesn't look too off. It's just, to my eyes, it looks just a tiny bit on the higher side, but that's all okay. Of course, we've just got that standard sort of printing and stamping there on the underside, but of course it really draws my eye to this really cool blaster rifle that Val is holding here. There are some really cool tiny details and some painted details in here as well. Lots of little metallic accents there. The detail on this almost makes me think of it being like a Hasbro Black Series accessory. There's something really sort of realistic and fine-tuned about the details on this accessory. It's really nice to see. And of course we have to take a look at her really cute face. I don't know, it's just amazing the way that Funko can take such a simple style and sort of recreate character faces. And I know she doesn't have a lot of really distinguishing features, but this still feels like a really good interpretation of Val from the show. We've got her blonde hair, light colored eyebrows there with a little bit of a stern expression. Of course, she is a serious character in the show. And then we've got these really cool little braids coming down from behind her ears, one on either side. And of course, we've got this long ponytail here in the back, which is really cool. And then we've got this one little plait that is coming out from just under sort of neath her ponytail there. So she's got 3 little braids. And we've got a brown hair tie here for her high ponytail there as well. Looking at it, everything looks well painted. I don't see major flaws. Because we don't have a lot of detail on the face, I'm always relieved when I get a Funko that doesn't have a big flaw. When there isn't much detail, the flaws really stand out when all you've got are really those iconic eyes to kind of draw focus there. But everything is painted really nicely. Lots of great detail on her costume there. And of course, everything is glued in well. Every now and again, I've come across a Funko where one of the hair pieces or something is not attached right. You can kind of see the fact that it hasn't been seated in where it's supposed to go, or you get that glue residue, which often has sort of a white cast to it after it's set, which does sort of diminish the sort of fun of the figure. You know, you want your Star Wars toys and collectibles to look really nice when you get them out of the packaging, and sometimes it's a little annoying if there's something slightly amiss, especially if you don't really have the opportunity to look at them in the store. Sometimes you can see multiples, you can kind of look through the plastic and see if you can spot any flaws, but for convention exclusives, it's often what you can get your hands on is the one you're going to get. Just fantastic detail, all of these little stitching details here, the pockets and everything like that. Of course, the characters in Andor do tend to have slightly more, well, certainly the rebels don't have quite as much distinctive. If you took the blaster rifle away, it would look like a brown jacket and boots. It could look like any kind of character from an adventure film, but that's why I really want to have more Funko Pop vinyls and just collectibles in general from the Andor series. I think you get a better sense of an Andor character lineup with all of them together. You know, we get a Dead Romero in her white Imperial officer outfit, you know, an Andor and B2 Emo beside him and stuff like that. You know, you want some of those slightly more recognizable characters and just to sort of really add to the lineup. I think it's sad that there are so many fantastic characters from the show that are missing from collectibles. I want Loy. There's, you know, a few out there, including, you know, in the Black Series line, there are some really good ones. Hasbro's dragging the chain a little bit with their vintage collection line, which I am really hoping to see more of soon. But this is a really cool addition. I just wish there were more. I think, especially from the Aldani mission, there were some really cool characters there. That was a really, really interesting story arc in the show. And I'm really looking forward to seeing if, you know, how much much we're going to see of Vel Sartha and her continuing story in Andor Season 2. I'm really hoping we get to see more of her. I thought she was really interesting, you know. I want to see those characters that we meet along Andor's storyline tying in to that founding days of the rebellion, you know, with Luthen Rael and his efforts with Mon Mothma and everything like that. But anyway, speaking of the Funko in hand, this is really nice. I'm always a little bit worried, you know, when I'm getting especially convention exclusives that I can't source if I get a flawed one. She looks great. I think it's a really good interpretation of Vel Sartha. I thought this was an interesting choice for a convention exclusive. I know sometimes for convention exclusives, they tend to do characters that are maybe Funko considers them to be less essential to the lineup, so fans won't feel quite as slighted if they are missing. But I think it's really funny that there have been a number of convention exclusive figures from the Andor series. One of them, including Andor himself, was a convention exclusive some time ago. I feel like we just need more because it was just such a great show, and I want all the merchandise from my favorite shows. You know, we have a lot from the Ahsoka series and things like that, which of course I do love, but I kind of want to see sort of a bit of an equal representation there from some of my other favorite series. Fingers crossed, you know, when we start getting like K2SO and things like that from Andor Season 2, maybe we'll get a really cool lineup, a full proper release of lots of characters and things like that from the Andor series. She looks great. You know, I really held out. I was keeping in her box until I had more, because I do like to kind of display my Star Wars collectibles clustered by sort of theme, movie, series, and I was kind of waiting till I had a few more from the Andor series to really sort of build a bit of an Andor section, but I was tired of waiting, and after watching the series again recently, I just felt like going through and opening up some of my Andor toys, because I'm still waiting for more, and I love the show too much. I want to get them out and on display. So this was really fun. Long time coming, but she looks great. Wow, she looks cool. She's so cute. I can't wait to see Andor Series 2. Hopefully we'll find out a little bit more about that series in the coming months, because I'm really excited for it. And I definitely want to build some space in my Funko and other Star Wars collectible spaces for more pops and action figures from the series. This was a little bit of a fun, light-hearted Star Wars unboxing. I do like to celebrate each and every Star Wars item in my collection because they all bring me joy, and I want to highlight each and every item in my collection that just excite me. You know, I purchased these for a reason, because I like them and they bring me joy, and I want to put them on display where I can see them every day and enjoy them. So thank you so much for hanging out with me today as I opened up another Star Wars collectible, checked out all of her fabulous details, and had a lot of fun. I hope you have a wonderful morning, afternoon, or evening wherever you are in the galaxy, and let's hang out again very soon for more Star Wars fun. May the Force be with you. If you're a Funko Pop vinyl fan, I've also unboxed the Cassian Andor figure. That video is linked here in case you haven't already seen it, as well as a whole Funko unboxing playlist. This is the way.